The tall man.
Mr. President, Johannes Petra from Austrian National Television.
How are you?
You once said that you would end the Ukraine war in 24 hours. You later said that sarcastically.
Well, of course it was sarcastic.
Why have you not been able to end the Ukraine war?
Because it's more difficult than people would have any idea. Vladimir Putin has been more difficult. Frankly, I had some problems with Zelensky. You may have read about him. And it's been more difficult than other wars. I mean, look, we just ended a war in 12 days that was simmering for 30 years, frankly. We ended Rwanda and the Congo. It's coming to sign the documents. We've already signed basic documents, but they're coming, I think, to the White House on Friday. We ended Serbia was going to go at it. But maybe the most important of all, India and Pakistan. And that wasn't whether or not they may someday have nukes like we're talking about in the Middle East, like we're talking about with Israel and Iran. This is they have nuclear weapons. I ended that with a series of phone calls on trade. I said, look, if you're going to go fighting each other, it was getting very bad. You know how bad that last attack was. It was really bad. If you're going to go fighting each other, we're not doing any trade deal. No, 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 you have to do a trade deal. I said, we're not doing any trade deal. And in fact, I had the general, who was very impressive. The general from Pakistan was in my office last week. You know, Prime Minister Modi is a great friend of mine. He's a great gentleman. He's a great man. And I got them to reason. I said, and you know what? He said, no, I want to do the trade deal. We stopped the nuclear war. Go ahead.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? The one and only James Williams, Dog Waters. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. If you feel like I got the same clothes on from yesterday when you saw me, it's not what happened. I took a shower. When you see me in another hour, I'm going to have different clothes on. What had happened was I recorded this yesterday because I wanted to talk about it because I ran out of things to talk about. Or I have too many things to talk about, and I couldn't get to them all. So I did this for you this morning. That just lets you know how much I'm thinking about you because I think it's important. Now, with that being said, here's one of the most important stories that I've seen. Pentagon halts all Ukraine weapon shipments. America finally says no more. This thing right here, this little evil goblin, Zelensky. I am Zelensky and I come to your White House and you will give me all the weapons. Because Zelensky is the king of the Ukraine. This little damn demon. They finally cut him off. Now, we gave billions upon billions upon billions of dollars to this damn demon so he can force conscript and draft people off the streets and throw them to the front lines and get them mollywopped by Russian troops and drones. And all the time, he was sitting there just stealing money. And so now we cut him off. And we knew he was getting cut off. How do we know he was getting cut off? Because there was a series of events that happened back in the day. Here's the first thing that happened. And everybody remembers this. When he decided he was going to go to the White House and he was going to play games with Donald J. Trump. Now, sidebar note. Donald, if you see this video, and Elon, if you see this video, the two of you need to quit it. This back and forth chirping like two little birds, quit it. We are winning. And you just sitting there like, yeah, victory. Let me slam you into the jaws of defeat. Yeah, Elon's like, come here, victory. Come here, victory. Jaws of defeat, open up. Open up, jaws of defeat. Oh, here's victory. Y'all need to sit down somewhere. Y'all, two old ass white men, act like two white men. Stop acting like you're not white. Pissing me off with the two of you with your behavior. Act like you're some white men. Just and act like you're rich. It's crazy.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2014.
Well, 2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but,
That's exactly
but
right.
yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, the situation the same. The people are been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influence.
That's the
We're
moment. He
gonna
messed up
feel
right there.
very good
This the
and very
moment. This the
strong.
moment.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a
Brown,
good position.
I
You don't
was
have
in
the cards right now. With us, you start
I'm
having
not
cards.
playing
But
cards.
right now, you
I'm
don't. Yeah,
very
you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think
You're
you-
gambling with World War
What do you-
III.
what do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III.
Now we all remember that. Remember Doc? This something been crazy. I'm sorry. That little gremlin bastard is crazy. Like he freaking crazy. Then I'm just walking down the road that led to the fact that he ain't getting no weapons. And then here we go. This is when he gets kicked out of the White House.
This is really pretty incredible. We see the
Jackie,
SUV,
hang on with us one
Zelensky's
moment. If you
SUV.
look to your left, you're going to see him. Let's watch.
Mr. President, is the deal off? President Zelensky, can you tell us what happened?
And then after that, remember, I'm just bringing you up to speed before I finish this off. Then after that, Lindsey Graham, the guy who set him up. Now remember, Zelensky was being told by the Democrats that, Zelensky, don't listen to Donald. We got him. Don't worry about it. We got your back, Zelensky. Don't listen to Donald. And quite frankly, they had things under control because the Supreme Court hadn't ruled against all these stupid injunctions and bada bing, bada boom. And boy, what was this? This was February 28th. This went down. So February, March, April, May, June. So just in a couple of months, this all has changed. And he ain't getting nothing. Oh, this is posted by Kimberly Klasick. She's kind of cute. Kimberly, tall and lanky and sexy. All right.
All right. So, what do I think? Complete, utter disaster. I've been to Ukraine.
8 or 9 times since the war started. I understand the consequences of Putin's actions against Ukraine. I appreciate what the Ukrainian people have done. They fought like tigers. At the end of the day, I was hoping that this minerals deal, which would be transformative in the relationship, would go over well. I talked to Zelensky this morning. Don't take the bait. President Trump was in a very good mood last night. Somebody asked me, am I embarrassed about Trump? I have never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of J.D. Vance, standing up for our country. We want to be helpful. What I saw in the Oval Office was disrespectful, and I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelensky again. I think most Americans saw a guy that they would not want to go in business with. The way he handled the meeting, the way he confronted the president was just over the top. So I think the relationship between Ukraine and America is important, vitally important. But can Zelensky do a deal with the United States? After what I saw, I don't know.
What do you need to do, sir? 3 questions. Senator Graham. You met once with President Trump. What did he say to you about his interactions and whether he thinks
he was shocked? He was very upbeat. I told Zelensky, we'll talk about security guarantees. We'll talk about ceasefires and how the war ends. This is a process. You have a new relationship with America, a $500 billion, $500 billion deal that President Trump is proud of, that gives us an interest worth defending. Let's talk about the positive. But he was terrible at Munich, Zelensky, and I think he has made it almost impossible to sell to the American people that he's a good investment, that he is a good business partner.
No, the American people didn't need to be sold on Zelensky. The American people was over Zelensky in the first place, ladies and gentlemen. And so, as you know, we went on to do the mineral deal with him, right? We tried to get a ceasefire. They didn't do a ceasefire. And now Putin has taken the territory under which the ceasefire was. So there's no reason to give him anything. You want to know why? Because Putin took over the area where the resources were. So ain't no need to give him nothing because Putin done took everything. Putin done took it all. Yeah. Zelensky got what he deserved. And I'm happy to see that Zelensky got everything that he deserved. Because Zelensky is a damn dummy. That's what he is. A damn dummy.